Hello guys, hope to be great. So today we are going to read and listen to the story of the boy who cried wolf. This story is one of Aesop's fables. Okay? So I'm going to give you 10 seconds just to take a look at these four pictures of the story. Okay, now let's read the story. I'm going to give you the chance to read the story and to choose the correct word or conjunction just to join the sentences and the phrases. If you notice, guys, here we have these conjunctions. We have while, because, so, but, as soon as, until, when, while, before, after, because, so, as, before, but, and although. So while reading, guys, select the correct conjunction just to connect the phrases and sentences. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to read the story and to select the correct conjunctions, okay? So time starts. Okay, guys, so it's the time to listen to the story. So please listen carefully to the story and listen to the correct conjunction that I have to choose to connect the phrases and sentences. So it is recording 9.6. So let's listen to the story and please listen carefully. So this is Unit 9. No, this is 11. And this is recording 6. So let's listen to the story of the boy who cried wolf.
Tape script 9.6. The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Once upon a time, there was a shepherd boy who looked after the sheep in the hills near his village. He thought his job was very boring. One day, while he was sitting under a tree, he had an idea. He decided to have some fun. So he went down to the village and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" at the top of his voice. As soon as the villagers heard the boy, they stopped work and raced to the hills to help him. But when they got there, they saw nothing. They returned to their work. After they'd gone, the shepherd boy smiled to himself. A few days later, the boy did the same thing again. He ran into the village and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf!" The villagers didn't know whether to believe him or not, but they were worried about their sheep, so they had to help him. They went back to the hills. Again, there was no wolf. They were angry because the shepherd boy had lied again. But he just laughed. Then, the next day, just as the sun was setting, a wolf really did appear, and it began attacking the sheep. In terror, the boy raced down the hill to the village, shouting, "Wolf! Wolf!" Although the villagers heard his cries, they did nothing to help. This time they really didn't believe him. The shepherd boy climbed back up the hill to look for the sheep, but the wolf had killed them all. He was so ashamed of himself that he sat down in the moonlight and cried.
So this
The
is
moral of this story is,
Wait. You have to tell me the moral of this story. Okay. Now, what is the moral of this story? Can you please tell me? Okay. Now let's listen to the moral of this story, which is,
you should not lie. A liar will not be believed, even when he tells the truth.
so this is the moral lesson of this story. You shouldn't lie, because the liar is not the person who should be believed. So this is it. Now I think it's the time to solve the questions about this story. So to do so, let me split my screen into two, just to be able to read the question and the story at the same time. So let's try to answer these questions about the story. Question number one is saying, when did the boy have his idea? While? Exactly. While he was. And while he was sitting under a tree. Question number two, when did the villager race to the hills? As soon as. Exactly. So as soon as the villagers heard the boy crying. Question number three, when did the shepherd boy smile? After? Exactly. After the villagers had gone. Now the final question, when did the wolf appear? As? Exactly. So as the sun was sitting down, a wolf really did appear. Okay, now let's talk about these words. As I told you that these words, guys, are called what? Conjunctions. So now conjunctions are used to join sentences and phrases. Take a look at this example. He wanted to have some fun because he was bored. So we notice that this is a sentence and this is another sentence. So this conjunction, which is because, to connect these two sentences. Okay? The next example is saying, although they were all busy, okay, they stopped work. So these are two sentences and this conjunction, which is although, to connect these two sentences. The final example is, no one believed the boy, so he climbed back up the hill. So this is a sentence, this is another sentence, and this conjunction is to connect these two sentences. So the conjunctions that we have in level 4 is when, while, before, after, as, until, as soon as. So all these words are called conjunctions of time. I need to tell you something about these conjunctions, and please listen to me carefully. If you want to start the sentence with one of the conjunction, you have to use a comma to split or separate the two sentences. But if you want to write the sentence in the middle of the, if you want to write the conjunction in the middle of the sentence, you don't have to write any comma, okay? Keep in mind that if you want to start the sentence with a conjunction, or if you want to use it in the middle, they have the same meaning. For example, if you want to say, because he was bored, he wanted to have some fun, or if you want to say he wanted to have some fun because he was bored, we notice that both of them have the same meaning. So if you want to start your sentence with a conjunction, or if you want to write it in the middle of the sentence, both of them have the same meaning, okay? This is it. So notice this is another example. As soon as the villagers heard the boy, comma, because I started my sentence with a conjunction, I have to write a comma, they went to help. Another example. While the boy was in the village, comma, the wolf killed all the sheep. Okay? So be careful about the conjunctions because they are well important to connect phrases and sentences, especially if you want to form the complex sentence, the compound sentence, and the complex compound sentence. Okay? Especially the complex sentence. Okay. Now, exercise number 4 is saying, let's complete the sentences with these conjunctions. We have although, this is the first conjunction. We have so, this is the second conjunction, or I have to use because. So let's use them in these 3 exercises. Number 1, they didn't find the wolf. They went back to work. Exactly, I have to use so. So they went back to work. 2, they helped the boy. They were worried about the sheep. Exactly, the correct conjunction is because they helped the shepherd because the villagers were worried about the sheep. 3, they heard his cries. They didn't do anything to help. Exactly, because he lied. So although they heard the boy crying, wolf, wolf, okay, they didn't help him. Okay, so this is it. Please be careful about the conjunctions. Now we have another exercise about conjunctions. Let's take a look at this exercise, guys. We know to see that we have these conjunctions: when, after, as soon as, until, although, because, so, and but. So all these words are called conjunctions just to join sentences. Now let's put one of them, or let's use them and use one verb in the past perfect. Let me explain. We notice here that we have 2 sentences. I did my work. 2, I went to bed. Now we have to use when, and we have to use one of them, one of these sentences should be used in the past perfect tense, okay? Because we said that the past perfect tense should be happened before the past. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to select or just to use this conjunction and to use one of these sentences using the past perfect tense. Then we have to listen to the correct sentences, okay? So time starts. Okay, so let's listen and please compare your answers. So this is the recording of 9.7. Listen carefully and compare your answers.
Tape script 9.7. Discussing grammar. 1.
When I'd done my homework, I went to bed.
So when I had done my homework, I went to bed. So the past perfect should be used here. This is the first action that happened. Then I went to bed, okay? So notice that the past perfect should be used before the simple past. So what happened first is I did my homework, then I went to bed. So this is why here I have to use this verb in the past perfect, okay? So when I had done my homework, okay, I went to bed. I can say I went to bed when I had done my homework. I told you that both of them have the same meaning, okay? Now, 2.
2.
After I'd driven 200 miles, I stopped for a coffee.
So, after I had driven. So, past perfect. This is the first action that happened. After I had driven 200 miles. Okay, what happened? I stopped for a coffee. I can say I stopped for a coffee after I had driven 200 miles. So we notice that both ways have the same meaning. Now, 3.
3.
As soon as she'd passed her driving test, she bought a car.
So, as soon as she had passed, this is the past perfect. This is what happened first. As soon as she had passed. Past perfect. This is what happened first. As soon as she had passed her driving test, she bought a car. After she had passed her driving test, she bought a car. Okay? This is what happened after. And this is what happened before. Now 4.
4.
I didn't go to Italy until I'd learned Italian.
So I didn't go to Italy until I had learned Italian. So notice that I learned the Italian language, then I went to Italy, okay? So after I had learned the Italian language, I went to Italy, okay? Now 5.
5.
Although I'd read the book, I didn't understand the film.
So although I had read the book, okay, I didn't understand the film. So this is past perfect. I can say I didn't understand the film, although I had read the book. Both of them have the same meaning. Now 6.
6.
His mother sent him to bed because he'd been naughty.
So his mother sent him to bed because he had been naughty. He had been. We notice that the past perfect of the verb to be is what had been. So his mother sent him to bed because he had been naughty. I can say because he had been naughty, okay, his mother sent him to bed. Now 7 is
7.
She'd burnt the food, so we went out to eat.
so she had burnt the food. This is what happened first. She had burnt the food. Okay, so we went out to eat. Because she had burnt the food, we went out to eat. Okay, now finally ate.
8.
She cooked a lovely supper, but unfortunately, I'd eaten a large lunch.
So, unfortunately, I had eaten. This is the action that happened first because we said that the past perfect should be happened before the simple past or the past. Okay? She cooked a lovely supper, but I had eaten a large lunch. Okay, guys, so be careful about these conjunctions and even be careful about the using of the past perfect because the past perfect should be happen or should be used before the past. Okay, so this is it. This is about the story of the boy who cried wolf. Now, the next class, we are going to discuss exercise number 2. Okay, so thank you for watching and please watch the next video. Bye-bye.